Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Niina, the host of the Little Woman podcast. Now that the podcast is on summer break, I am going to do some other bookish videos. And today I'm going to do the childhood book tag, which comes from Rose Rambles book channel. And those of you who are watching this, you can do this tag as well. Is there a book that you didn't like the first time, but ended up enjoying during a second read? When I was a child, I really loved Anne of Green Gables, the book series. And I know a lot of you guys love it as well. And my favorite Anne book was Anne of the Iceland. And Anne of the Iceland is followed by Anne's House of Dreams. I was maybe 11 when I read Anne of Green Gables series for the first time, so I didn't really understood a lot of the themes in them, but I loved Anne of the Iceland. I didn't really get Anne's House of Dreams for the first time, and when it comes to Anne series, it's actually one of the darkest books because you have Anne losing her first child, and then there's the character of Leslie Moore, who is a character with a very tragic background story. And the novel, it's a bit grim sometimes, a bit dark. But when I have read it as an adult, I absolutely love it. And I think Montgomery was an excellent writer when it came to characters, the way she created these very nuanced characters. Some of her characters are really funny, very humorous. Then there are others that are very sad and depressed, and they have these dark secrets. Anne's House of Dreams was that book for me. Do you still have any books from your childhood? If so, what are they? And if not, do you wish you'd kept any of them? At some point I sold my Anne of Green Gables collection, and I really wish I hadn't done that, because now I have recollected them, but they're not the same editions. I don't know why I was that stupid. I do have some of my favorite books from childhood. I have many of my Astrid Lindgren books. I am from Finland, so Scandinavian literature was a big part of my childhood. Ronja the Robber's Daughter, that was my favorite, and I still have my childhood copy. Also Moomin books, because Finland. What did you mostly read? Fiction, non-fiction, comics or manga? Has that changed as you've gotten older? I read a lot more non-fiction nowadays. I still read lots of fiction, but I also read non-fiction. What were some of the popular books when you were a child in your country? I think I already mentioned them. Moomins, Astrid Lindgren, Mauri Kunnas. He is one of the most popular Finnish children's book authors, and he also illustrates his own books. I highly recommend them. Do you have any reading habits you've carried into your teenage adult life? For example, mouthing the words, reading one or multiple books at a time, dog-earing a book, reading without music, etc. I really like reading outside, especially during the summer. Now that I'm recording this, it's June, and I just think that I need to go to the park and take my books and have a picnic there and read. I really like to read outside. One of my childhood memories was me being at my grandma's house and reading in her garden. She had this big garden with raspberries and apple trees. Grandma died last year, so sad. How would you decide what to read? For example, did you choose a book based on the cover, the synopsis, or both? I'd say both. A lot of times it was like, if I found a writer that I really liked or their style, then I would read everything that came from that writer, and I still do that. And I am actually an illustrator. Covers are pretty important to me. I am specialized on children's book illustration. I love browsing illustrations and books that are illustrated. So I think that's one of those things that really started already as a child. Like still today, if I read a book that has illustrations, I really need to stop and look at the illustrations. For example, the Moomin books. Tove Jansson, she did not only write them, she also illustrated her own books. And she was also a comic artist and just an amazing person. But every time when I read those books, I find something in the illustrations, and that makes the story even better. It's the same with Astrid Lindgren's books. My favorite is Ronja the Robber's Daughter, which tells a story about this girl who lives in the woods with her family in a castle, and his father is a king of thieves in middle-aged Sweden. And all those illustrations, they are filled with this rich forest, this beautiful northern nature, and there are all these mystical characters there. Reading the book was also like a visual journey to this world where this story took place. Where would you normally get books from? Library, yard sales, second-hand bookstores, etc. I think when I was a child, my parents just bought them. I think when I was a child, my parents bought the books. I also borrowed books from the library. I didn't have all of the Anne of Green Gables books, so I borrowed them. Some of them were translated into Finnish much later on, so I have read some of those as an adult. I didn't read them as a child. Like Anne of Windy Poplars, which is one of my favorites. I didn't read that as a child. I think I had the entire Little Woman series in Finnish. I had Little Woman, Little Man, and then Joe's Boys. I think I also had 8 Cousins and Rose in Bloom, but I don't remember reading them as a child. I just had them. Isn't that weird? Now I have read them, and I have them in English. I don't know where the Finnish copies are. That was the childhood book tag. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. I'm also giving you all a 1 free month on Skillshare, so if you want to learn a new skill, the link is in the description. Thank you for watching. Take care and make good choices. Bye!